Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Blue Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. Also, we have invited other people to come on the show like we always do. Where if they do or don't is a different story. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world. The Blue Jackets get two big wins. They beat the Flyers 3-2 in a shootout. The Blue Jackets beat the San Jose Sharks 4-1. And they also unfortunately lost to the Rangers 1-0 in a shootout. But you know what? There was good in every one of those games, and we're going to talk about that. The Blue Jackets have a new jersey for their outdoor game at Ohio State, and it is really cool. And we're going to talk about that.
Sick.
Hefty Duck is right. It is sick. It is outstanding. Adam Fantilli scored a cool goal against the Sharks, and I like it, and I'm going to show it on the show, and we got so much more to talk about. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome in. Kevin is right. We do have a lot to talk about, but first, don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're watching from. Check us out on YouTube. If you would, you can find all of our links in our bios on any of our social medias. Just check out the link tree and you can find us anywhere. Also, a big shout out to our audio listeners. You guys rock. If you too would like to listen to us on audio, you can find us anywhere that you have. They have podcasts, whether it's Google, Apple, YouTube podcast, whatever. But please and thank you. We appreciate you. Wow. There's been a lot of good lately with the Blue Jackets. Obviously, last night they broke their 6-game winning streak, but they kept their 7-game point streak going. At the time, the 6-game winning streak was the longest streak in the NHL of any team. So that was, they're showing up. They're showing out. It's looking real good so far. All right. Well, let's just start talking about the wins and losses. So I did a little bit of digging around, and so since we saw y'all last Tuesday, the Blue Jackets played the Flyers in Columbus, and they won that in a shootout 3-2. Now, didn't they just have a shootout last night? Yes, They did. And in fact, I didn't get the shootout stats. Damn. Oh, well. I have the overtime stats for all teams in the NHL right now, and the Blue Jackets do have quite a lot of overtimes this season. The Flyers, Penguins, and Canucks are all tied at first with 14. And then the Flames and Bruins are tied at second with 13. And then the Ducks, Blue Jackets, and Utah are tied for third at 12. And there's been 7 overtime losses, so the Blue Jackets are 5-7 in overtimes this year so far. So, including this shutout, they won 3-2. So, the Flyers started off the scoring with Bobby Brink in the first period, about 3.5 minutes in. Werenski got his 14th goal of the season. I think that was his 50th or 51st point. He's killing it out there. Then the whole second period, it was even. There's no scoring at all. It was not very boring though. It was still very action packed. Then Owen Tippett, bless his little heart, because he's on my fantasy team. Unfortunately though, he scored against the team that I root for, the Blue Jackets, to make it 2-1. But Werenski, in the last 5 minutes, tied it up for 2-2. Then the Flyers missed all of their shots in the shootout. Oh, I guess I should say that they went through and played an overtime period. But Kent Johnson made his shot. Konechny, Fantilli for Philadelphia missed his. Fantilli missed his. Michkov missed his. And then Marchenko sealed the deal with the last goal of the night. That was his little poker goal, too. Was that one?
Mm-hmm.
Did he do like the kind of Alexander Texier thing?
He did.
But great game from both teams. I don't think that the Flyers have anything to be ashamed of there. They were doing good. They're directly behind the Blue Jackets right now, in points, and, we could see both these teams maybe, battling it out here towards the end of the season, for a spot, maybe? Is battling for a spot was that did I imagine that was even gonna be in my vocabulary talking about the Blue Jackets this year? No. But here it is, and if they miss out on it, they still had a great season.
Mhm.
A great if they get there, I mean, even a wild card spot, I mean, we gotta start looking at Dean Evison for being, like, coach of the year almost or something. Also Zach Werenski for Norris. But, anyway, what did you think about that shootout, and the win against the Flyers?
Yeah, so Tuesday was an example of a game where for a good chunk of that game there really wasn't a lot going on there for the Blue Jackets because look, this is to the Flyers' credit. It's just that and we know this when John Tortorella was the coach for the Blue Jackets. It's just that a John Tortorella coach team is just going to be a pain in the ass to play against. They're going to play good, tight checking defense, and they're really not going to give you much to shoot at. And it's just going to be hard. So, in those types of games, you have to try your best to just fight through that and find a way to get it done. And when they do give you a chance to score, you better put it in the net, because if you don't, then a team like that plays good tight checking defense, you're not going to get that chance again. Once it's gone and it's not coming back. So like you better put that chance away when you did. And that was a good chunk of that game. There was really nothing to shoot at for the Blue Jackets. But then they just kept playing their game and they found a way to fight through it. They get 2 goals, including a big one to tie it up in the third period by Zach Werenski. And I'm going to play that goal and I'm going to show that goal. So that was good. Then you get it to overtime and both teams had some chances to put it away, couldn't do it. But then when it comes to the shootout, it's like, all right, this is it. You need to put it away. You can't lose this. And the Blue Jackets, when given the chance to put it away, they did that. They put it away and they won the game. When they needed a big goal, they got it. When they needed a big save from Danil Tarasov, they got it done. So that's all you could ask from that point is when you need to get it done, get it done. Dean Evison even said that after the game that it was a muck game. Basically kind of saying that, you're kind of down, paraphrasing it, but basically you're down in the mud and things aren't always the cleanest, but you know what? You found a way to get it done. And you're going to play games like that where you need to find a way to get it done, where it's not going to be pretty. And they found a way to get it done. So it's a credit to the Blue Jackets. And that game that they played against the Flyers, when we get to talking about the Rangers game, is basically a similarity there. So Blue Jackets, you found a way to get it done. So shout out to you and good job.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely great job. One of the big things too is I was just looking up the stats for this as well. We talked about this recently, very recently, like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, about the penalty kill and how if the Blue Jackets can get on top of that, like they were at the beginning of the season, then the wins could really start stacking up. Now they have given up some power play goals to other teams in the past few games, notably, I believe against the Sharks. That was their one goal they had.
No, their one goal was not a power play goal. The one goal that the Sharks scored is because they won the face-off, and they won the face-off, and the Blue Jackets didn't get dude is left wide open
No.
in front of the net. Sharks win the faceoff. They get the puck to him and he scores. And the Blue Jackets just didn't get there in time to put a stop to that.
Werenski was off for tripping. He had a 2-minute penalty for tripping. That was Colton Parayko who scored, also on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
So I think it was.
It was against the Blues
Okay.
that the penalty, they gave up a goal. So, but the one against the Sharks,
Sorry. You know what, dude? I have such a problem with Seattle, San Jose, and St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just mix them all up every single time, every week. There's your bingo card for the week there.
There's Hefty Duck's bingo card. Hey, I got mine too. I do stuff too, so it happens. No, but the one goal that the Blue Jackets gave up against the Sharks, it just happened because you lose a face-off and then you leave a dude wide open, and then you just don't have the time to get there to put a stop to that, and then he puts it in the net. It's like, you'd rather not that have happened, but it happens. It is what it is.
Right. So
win the face-off next time, and that doesn't happen.
Did you give a rating for the Flyers game?
No, I didn't, but I'll do it. Honestly, I like a 6. That was a 6.
Yeah.
There's a good chunk of that game. You weren't playing very good. There wasn't a lot going on there. But you know what? Towards the end of that game, you really fought through it and you found a way to tie the game. And then eventually you get it to a shootout. And like when you need to put it away, you put it away and you win it. So 6 out of 10.
Stop going to shootouts, please, Blue Jackets.
Well, besides yesterday, they were 4-0 in it, so they're kind of going on a heater there.
They're 4-1 now in the shootouts. Yeah,
they were before yesterday against the Rangers. They were going on a heater in shootouts. So
I do have a stat for this.
It happens,
So most shootouts in 24-25 season, Flyers have 6 shootouts, and they're 3-3, 3 wins, 3 losses. And then tied for second is the Penguins and the Blue Jackets, but the Penguins are 1-4 and the Blue Jackets are 4-1. So love seeing them.
It all balances out. It all balances out. You got one team 1-4, one team 4-1. It balances out.
Let's talk about that Sharks game just a little bit more. I'll tell you the scoring real quick. Adam Fantilli scored in the first period. It did take about 12 minutes in. But after that, 4 minutes later, Kent Johnson comes in. That was Ohio State night at Nationwide Arena, and the 2 first guys to score were both from Michigan. Sorry, I stole your thunder there, Kevin.
It's okay. I'm still going to talk about it, even if you say something about it.
So then James Van Riemsdyk comes in with his 7th goal of the season. And as we were just talking about, Tyler Toffoli came in with a pass or assist from Celebrini to make it 3-1 in the third period. And not to be outdone, James Van Riemsdyk scored his 8th goal of the season on an empty net. So he was technically on Hattie watch for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he did not get the hat trick. The Blue Jackets won 4-2.
4-1.
Jeez, dude, look. Thank you. This is why I need someone here.
All right.
Nothing too crazy in the penalties. Blue Jackets had 3. San Jose had 2. 3 stars of the game, JVR, KJ, and Merzlikins with a save percentage of .947. And we're going to talk about goalies here in a bit. I have some stats about all of the NHL, not just the Blue Jackets goalies. So, Kevin, what'd you think of the game?
That you're going to ask for a rating, so I'll just get that out of the way first. That was 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because that first 2 periods, absolute domination by the Blue Jackets. Good 2 periods there, playing a good game. Third period kind of got a little sloppy there. You started to let it slip a little bit there. Sharks really did kind of come on strong there in the third period. They do get the goal there. But you know what? The Blue Jackets, to their credit, they just kind of weathered the storm there, only got scored on once. Got scored on there once, and that's it. And you get the goal there at the end, so it's really not as big of an issue. And
still would like to see the shutout, but
yeah, that would have been nice, but it happens. Like Hefty Duck said, it was indeed Ohio State night at the Blue Jackets game. If you were at that game, you could have gotten your picture taken with Brutus, because Brutus, the Ohio State mascot, was there. The Ohio State alumni band was there. So, they were playing some music during the game. So you could have seen that. There was also a ticket package for that game. If you had bought that ticket package, you would have gotten a winter hat. And the hat was in Ohio State colors, and it said Jackets, and it had the Blue Jackets logo on it.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be great for the game, for the outdoor game.
Yep. So, there was that. And not only was all that stuff going on there with Ohio State night, that was also the day that the Blue Jackets revealed their jersey that they will be wearing at Ohio State. And also, if you pay attention to Jeff Savoda, Jackets Insider on Twitter, every game he does a little prediction on who he thinks might score the first goal for the Blue Jackets. He picked Adam Fantilli, and how he picked it is that he put a bunch of names in an Ohio State football helmet, and he kind of shook it up. And he pulled one name out of the hat, and what do you know? He picked Adam Fantilli, who played at Michigan. So it's and then Adam Fantilli goes on and scores in the game. Yeah. So that, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet because Kent Johnson also scored a goal. Oh, Zach Werenski also assisted on the Adam Fantilli goal. So understand, this has got to be some silly joke here that the world is playing on. It's like the world is trying to tell you something, that on Ohio State night at the Blue Jackets game, we are going to have the two Michigan players. Well, two of the Michigan players, because there's 4 on the Blue Jackets, but 2 of the 4 Michigan players for the Blue Jackets are going to score goals on Ohio State night. And Zach Werenski is going to, who also went to Michigan, is going to assist on one of those goals. You cannot make this stuff up. This is once in a lifetime thing. Something like that's probably never going to happen again for the Blue Jackets. It's one of those things where everything had to go right for something like that to happen, and it did go right. You have an Ohio State night at the Blue Jackets game, and you reveal what your jerseys are going to look like when you play at Ohio State, and Jeff Savoda picks a name out of a hat, in this case, an Ohio State football helmet, and Brutus is there, and the Ohio State alumni band is there, and 2 of your 4 guys that score the goals that day are Michigan guys. You cannot make this stuff up. Right. Once in a lifetime opportunity that will probably never happen like that ever again for the Blue Jackets. Good game by the Blue Jackets there.
Yeah, definitely. One goal, it's whatever, but it without that one goal, I would probably have given them an A to A+, but probably an A- with the goal. But still, great game. Can't complain. So last night, the Columbus Blue Jackets played the Rangers in Madison Square Garden, and Daniil Tarasov got the start. That's also the building where he got his first NHL win in 2022. And so it was fitting that he was back here. So I don't know. We talked about it already. There was no scoring the entire game. There was nothing. It was really impressive though, because both teams had very similar shots. The The Blue Jackets started out the first period though, like
14-4.
14-4, yeah. And the Rangers did catch up and did kind of hold them to less shots in the second period, and the game ended with both teams. The Blue Jackets had 27 shots on goal, and New York had 26. New York was ahead on the faceoffs, like 2/3 of the time. They had a little bit better faceoffs. Both teams didn't score on a power play. Jackets were 0 for 2. New York was 0 for 1. New York had a few more hits. Wasn't that big of a deal. Jackets had a lot of block shots. I mean, they were really sticking up for Tarasov last night, and Tarasov had a hell of a game too. It's absolutely. I mean, you love, like, I don't know. Even when the Blue Jackets won that shootout the other night, I still hated it. I still hate that's what decided the game. I understand why they can't do like a ton of overtimes, but I don't know why they can't do at least like one more overtime or something. I don't know. It just seems like it'd be tiring if I were a goaltender playing a full game, playing a great game, and then having to go into a shootout. It wasn't like what was the other shootout last night? It was Vegas or something like that. They tied the game like 5-5 going into overtime, and that's insane. That sucks, but 0-0 into overtime. I believe it was Jeff Svoboda who posted about, or I don't know. I'm very sorry for not giving the credit out to who it is, but they said something about there being 15 games in the Blue Jackets history. So out of the 24 seasons they've been a team, 15 games that have gone to overtime at 0-0. So very rare to happen. Unfortunately, the Blue Jackets did not come out with the win, but
it just, for me personally, about that game, it just comes down to this: is there, from an offensive standpoint, there really wasn't a lot going on there from both teams, because what it was is both teams were just playing really good, tight checking defense and not really giving either team much to shoot at. And when there was something to shoot at, both defenses just put a stop to it, whether it be like the goalie or it'd be like a dude's wide open and then it gets taken away because someone blocks a shot, someone gets a stick in a lane and puts a stop to it. So, it's both goalies playing a pretty good game there, and defense is playing pretty good. And sometimes that's fun to watch, where you have a good defensive battle between both defenses and the goalies that are keeping each other's teams in the game. But you're going to look back, if I'm the Blue Jackets, I'm going to look back at that game and go like, damn, like we could have had that one right there. But, we just couldn't put it away because we had chances to score and then you couldn't do it. And then you get to a shootout, you get scored on, and then you have chances to score and you don't do it. And that's why you lose. And the thing is that Daniil Tarasov did everything you could have asked of him last night. Stop the puck, make big saves, keep your team in the game. He did that. Realistically, there were 3 different times that the Rangers had a chance to put it away in overtime on 3 different breakaways, and they didn't do it. And realistically, that game should have been over in overtime from a Rangers perspective, because you can get away with like 1 breakaway on overtime and with a stop. You can't get away with 2 or 3, because on the second one, like, they're going to put, teams generally speaking, are going to put it away. You can't just, so Blue Jackets got lucky there that they were good enough and lucky enough to get it to a shootout. And Daniil Tarasov, you played a good game. You kept the Blue Jackets in it. You made big saves. But as good as he was that game, he can only do so much. And asking him to stop every shot in regulation plus every shot in overtime and asking him to stop every shot in the shootout is a bit much.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. Eventually, at some point, a goalie, whether that would have been the Blue Jackets or Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers, eventually one of those guys would have not made a save and gave up a goal there. And unfortunately for the Blue Jackets, that's what happened, is that Tarasov plays a good game there, keeps the Blue Jackets in it through regulation and overtime, and then come shootout, he gives up a goal. And that's the difference right there, because you have chances to put it away and you don't put it away and you lose.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. The Rangers had a chance to put it away in the shootout. They did. The Blue Jackets had chances to put it away. They didn't. And that's why you lose that game. You know, pretty good game defensively, and the Blue Jackets had some chances there, but eventually when you don't put it away, it's going to come back to bite you, and that's what happened with the Blue Jackets.
Right. Well, so one thing to note about these last, I guess since January 7th, looking at the news over here, is the Blue Jackets have been playing without Sean Monahan as well. They've also been playing without a few of their other top players. Yegor Chinakhov, he's been out. Waddell said recently that he's a few weeks away. And no one knows exactly what the problem is. They're being a lot more close-lipped about injury stuff this year than in previous years. But upper body, he completed a skating session back in December, but still, if he's a few weeks away, who knows what happened. Danforth is still out, and of course, Eric Branson and Boone Jenner are both out as well. It says here Sean Monahan is out with a wrist injury. He'll wear a brace on his injured wrist for 2 weeks before being reevaluated, according to Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers. So there's that.
That's in itself is impressive that in your last 8 games, you're 6-2, and you don't have Sean Monahan, and you don't have Boone Jenner, and you don't have Justin Danforth, and you don't have Eric Branson, and you don't have Yegor Chinakhov.
Yeah.
And you're still finding ways to win. You're 6-2 in your last 8. That's pretty good considering everything.
Well, that just goes to show the depth is awesome, though, too. Something that the Blue Jackets had been working on for a long time was getting reliable and better depth players for situations like this. Injuries have plagued the Blue Jackets. It's not. I don't think it's quite as bad this year.
No.
Which is a good thing to see. But let me real quick. Let's brag about some Blue Jackets players really quick, because the Blue Jackets have been doing really good on a team basis, but on an individual basis, there are some NHL leaders on the Blue Jackets. So I believe Zach Werenski is like number. Oh, I just lost this. He's like 16th in the league or something like that, and points are tied for something around there with 51 points. He currently leads the Blue Jackets with 51 points. Kirill Marchenko has the most goals on the Blue Jackets, and he's second with points of 49. Sean Monahan still holds the third place spot at 41. Dmitry Voronkov has 30 points. Kent Johnson 26. So many people over the 20-point mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Provorov and Severson right on the cusp of that as well. So the one thing to really note here is the single best plus minus in the NHL, well, tied with Leon Draisaitl, of course, is Kirill Marchenko with a plus 28. Now, this stat doesn't necessarily mean like that much, but sorry. Hey, just so you're aware, Kev, I have you muted for a second. When you go to speak, unmute yourself, if you would. Sorry. Yeah, that's an awesome stat. Like he's on the ice when when goals are scored for the Blue Jackets than when they're scored against, so that's a very good stat to see, especially, there's some other people who, I don't know, the stat can be meaningless sometimes, but as a forward, obviously then I feel like that tells a little bit about your defense then as well. Um, but yeah, Monahan is actually so the Blue Jackets' entire top line. This isn't going to include Monahan. So Marchenko, Monahan, Voronkov. Marchenko's the highest, 28. Monahan is number 18 with 17, and Voronkov is number 24 with 16. So the top line is all in the top 25 for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. And Zach Werenski is on a little heater here as he this past Thursday is now on an 18 point streak, 18 straight home games with the point, and he's on a very good list. You look at the list of people that have done it; they are NHL legends from a defenseman standpoint. So that's pretty good that he keeps doing that. He's always been a good player for the Blue Jackets, but he's really stepped it up this season to where he's just even playing better than what people expected of him. He's playing so good that you got people from the national media that don't really pay attention to the Blue Jackets. Even they are talking about him. You can't, I mean, you have to. When he's playing like this, you have to. You were forced to talk about Zach Werenski. To me, what Zach Werenski is doing, it's basically kind of reminiscent of what Joe Burrow did for the Bengals this season, where basically just about the entire season, Joe Burrow was on a heater there, where you look up on Twitter and every week, like, oh my God, Joe Burrow, another good game there, played good again, outstanding, and like he'd throw for like 4 touchdowns and like 400 yards. Like, he did it again, and it just got so big to the point to where you even had the people in the national media that again don't pay attention to a smaller market team like the Bengals that much, and then they had to talk about them. It's the same thing with Zach Werenski. It's like the Blue Jackets, like the Bengals, they're a smaller market team, so they don't get as much attention compared to other teams. So that so guys like a Joe Burrow or a Zach Werenski, they're good players and they should get more attention than that they do, but because they play for a smaller market team, they don't get as much attention as they should, so that when they play like they have been playing, then it finally makes people talk about them like they should have been, like, a couple years ago, but that's besides the point. But I'm glad you're finally talking about them and noticing that, hey, these guys are good players, even though if you're a little late to the party there, but that's okay. I'm glad you're talking about Joe Burrow and Zach Werenski. I'm glad you're talking about them, and even more people are starting to talk about, Zach Werenski for Norris Trophy. Yeah, he should at least be in the conversation for it, even if he doesn't get it. Like, okay, yeah, we like the Blue Jackets, Hefty Ducks, so we're more likely to be biased in favor of that. Like, yeah, he should get the Norris Trophy. But even if he doesn't get it, at least he should be in the conversation for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the stuff that he's been doing for the Blue Jackets this season is awesome, and he's a big reason why the Blue Jackets are where they are right now.
Yeah. So just for anyone who doesn't know, to win the Norris Trophy, an NHL defenseman must demonstrate the greatest all-around ability throughout the season. That means not only a good defenseman, but good on offense too. And right now, I mean, I just see Zach Werenski as being one of the top candidates because, I mean, his defense is great too. I mean, let me see real quick. I mean, he's plus minus is plus 11. He has like an average of like 20 minutes or more on the ice, like every night. His average time on ice is 26 minutes 44 seconds, that's amazing. So he's out there a lot, like a lot. So I mean, good on him, man. I'm really hoping that's in the conversation here coming up soon. Let's see here.
I'm going to throw this out there that you mentioned that, if the Blue Jackets keep doing good in some hypothetical scenario, if they make the playoffs, like Dean Nevison should get Jack Adams Award consideration. That's exactly what happened to John Tortorella, is that going into the 2016-2017 season, people weren't thinking that the Blue Jackets would do very good. Well, what happened that season? The Blue Jackets not only did they make the playoffs that season with a 108-point season, they also went on a 16-game heater where they won 16 games in a row. And John Tortorella is a big reason for that. And after the season, John Tortorella gets the Jack Adams Trophy in part because what he did. There are other contributing factors too, but like a good chunk why he got that Jack Adams Trophy that season is what he did with the Blue Jackets that season. And then after that season, that started the 4 straight trips to the playoffs, and including the 2 playoff series wins over Tampa Bay and Toronto. So from my perspective, you are on to something there, Hefty Duck, that hypothetical scenario in the event that the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, that I could see a similar thing happening with Dean Evison. Even if he doesn't get it, again, like Zach Werenski, he at least needs to be in the conversation for it, at least.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, who else I would be looking at right now? I mean, taking a team who is just unexpected to doing well. I don't see many other teams that are unexpectedly doing well, except for maybe the Habs.
I would say that or Minnesota, because they weren't supposed to be that good either. And John Hines is basically taking them to where they're, first, second place in their division.
They're second in the Central right now. Yeah, 58 points.
You're for a good chunk of the season, they've been number 1 in the Western Conference, and then at point of the season, they had the number 1 spot overall in the NHL. And now they're basically flipping between like first and second place in their division. And given that Minnesota has horrible cap space, they really can't do a lot to fix their team. So not a lot was expected of them from that standpoint. And then John Hines, their coach, basically has them playing at a level where, they're playing really good in their first or second in their division, basically for a good chunk of the season. And then Kirill Kaprizov for him is going on a heater there for him. And Brock Faber's been good for him. They have it's similar to what's happened to the Blue Jackets, where they kind of needed some of their guys to everything to go right, and all their guys to just come together and play good. And it's doing that. And then when their cap space is done, after their horrible cap space is done after this season, they'll actually have good cap space to actually fix issues that they have. Blue Jackets, obviously, they have good cap space. They don't have to worry about that. But when I see the Wild play, that's what I see as a team that wasn't expected, supposed to be like that good, and they're playing better than expected. So for me personally, besides Dean Evison, I'd say John Hines with Minnesota is a potential guy that you'd have to at least consider.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. So I'm going to change the topic here, and I want to talk about goalies just really quick. So I'm trying to sign. Oh, there it is. All right, save percentage for this season. Now, I'm not going to count anybody. So sorry. You got a lot of background noise there. I'll get yours a sec. So out of, I have no clue how many goalies. 90 right now. Out of 90 goalies, Elvis Merzlikins is actually sitting at number 19. And out of 90 goalies, that is well above the halfway mark. Now, he does have a save percentage of .890. But let me talk about some save percentages real quick. I had seen this stat on Twitter the other day, on X, whatever you want to call it, and someone was talking about how their the average save percentage of the NHL goalies has gone down over the past few years. And I kind of lost that post, so I just went and looked it up myself over on StatMuse. And let me tell you what, this is some very interesting stats here. So in the 2019-2020 season, the average goalie save percentage was a .910. That's a pretty high save percentage. That's really for the average. Like, damn, pretty good. The average save percentage in 2020-2021 season, .908. So it went down by 2 points. And people might say, oh, that went down by like 0.002, like 0.002% or whatever, or technically 0.2%. But that's the average. And if you got like 90 people in there and someone's doing real shit, they're going to skew the average. If someone's like, they're not going to skew it as much because there's a lot more people in there. So it's just 2 points is a lot when talking about averages. So then we look at 2021 and 2022, and it goes down again. It's 0.907 save percentage. 22-23, it goes down again, this time by 3 points, at 0.904. Last season, the average save percentage for an NHL goalie was 0.903.
So I am going to.
And sorry, I'm getting a lot of voices through you here again. And this season currently, that's about halfway, a little over halfway through, the average save percentage in the NHL is a 0.901. So just looking at that, it could go up to a 0.902 or something at some point, but the fact that it's steadily been going down, it tells us a few things, like what it could be. One thing that it could be people watching a lot more tapes, people's taping coaches or whatever, the video coaches, going over specific things. People just, I feel like there's less new goalies than there is skaters, because there's one goalie on the ice at one time, two on the bench, where you got like a dozen skaters, right? So it makes sense that like people recognize these and see these same guys year after year after year. And oftentimes they can be a little bit older too. Like taking Sergei Bobrovsky, for example, he is 36 years old, right? And he's probably got a few more seasons, it seems. To me, he's doing it fantastic. Yeah, just a little food for thought there. The Blue Jackets currently have 3 stats for 3 different goaltenders. Elvis Merzlikins, excuse me, it's widely considered the number one goaltender for the Blue Jackets, and for good reason. He's the most experienced, and he has been improving since. There's been some rough seasons here and there. After that, we have Daniil Tarasov, who is, for now, considered the second goaltender on the Blue Jackets. I say for now because he could be first, he could be second, he could be third. I don't know. The competition between these goalies is going to get more intense. And then the third goalie that has played this season for the Blue Jackets is, of course, young Jet Greaves. He's only 2 years younger than Daniil Tarasov, but he played 5 games, started 5 games. And he won 2 of those, lost 1. That doesn't add up. Ties. Oh, and 2 ties. Okay. Whatever. So Elvis Merzlikins this year is 16-10-3. So he's got a positive win record. And Jet Greaves' save percentage, it's going to be a little bit skewed since it's less games, but it's a 0.906, which is very good. He's got 144 saves and 159 shots. So, Merzlikins. Sorry, did I talk about Merzlikins? Anyway, he has a .890 save percentage, 3.05 goals against average, 1 shutout, and he has 723 saves and 812 shots against him, 89 goals against, 16-10-3. So, doing very well. Yeah, it's an .890 save percentage, but 2 things. the save percentage somewhat relies on the Blue Jackets creating less opportunities for the other team too for taking shots, and so it's a little bit it's goaltender stats, but I try to think about the entire team as well and what's going on. Daniil Tarasov has 12 games played this season, 12 games started. He is 4-6-2 with 44 goals against, 301 saves. That makes it 345 shots. Save percentage of .872 with a goals against average of 3.64 with one shutout. His first NHL shutout, ironically, they lost the game, but it counts as a shutout technically because they went 0-0 into overtime last night. So anyway, all I'm trying to do with this is I'm on social media quite a bit, and I see a lot of talk on X, Twitter, and some other places too. That I don't know, people like to grumble, and like last night, okay, like earlier in the season when Daniil Tarasov had a bad game, everyone's like, "Oh, why is this guy here? Why is this guy here?" After like last night, people were like, "Oh, he needs to be our starting goalie. He needs to be like the bipolarity is just making me a little frustrated because he's doing fine, but also Elvis Merzlikins does hold that spot right now for a reason. It's not, I mean, neither Don Waddell nor Dean Evason are stupid by any stretch of the imagination, and there's a reason that he is at where he's at. So overall, NHL's averages going down. I think it just kind of fits the thing. I think the Blue Jackets goalies are doing fine. But what do you think, Kev?
Yeah, so something to consider here is that, you bring up why you said some things and why it might be going, it's going down and why it could be going down, people watching tape and all that stuff. And there's some truth to that, is that especially in today's world, with all of the technology that you have, with all the computers and the iPads and the tablets and the phones and TV and all this stuff, that like you can look something up if you want it. And there's no doubt that when you're going in playing a certain team, that you are looking into tendencies and how they play, and you're looking into how does a certain goalie play his game, and you look into, okay, how does he play? What's his style of goaltending? And then you look further into that. Okay, how can we beat this? And you look further into that. Okay, generally speaking, these are the types of goals that he has given up. And then you go off of that. You don't completely say, okay, this guy's weak on the glove side, shoot there all the time. Like, no, like, you can't just do that, because then you're missing out on other opportunities that are there. But it's something to consider in the back of your mind that, like, hey, if this guy is terrible on the glove side, you consider that, okay, well, shoot on the glove side if it's open. Just try it. And if not, then you go somewhere else. Something like that is what I saw when the Blue Jackets played Pittsburgh. In the shootout, when they won that game, both Kent Johnson and Kirill Marchenko scored 5-hole on Tristan Jarry, the goalie for the Penguins. Whereas if Fantilli, he tried something else and he didn't get it. And when that happened to me, that kind of like, I wonder if they see something there, that something came up before the game and scouting that, okay, this guy, you can score goals on 5-hole. And you just wonder if they remembered to save that for an instance when they needed it. And come the shootout, in that instance, the 2 goals you scored were 5-hole in that instance. Kent Johnson and Kirill Marchenko, their 2 goals in the shootout that they scored against the Flyers were 5-hole. So again, there's probably, you wonder if they probably looked into that and say, okay, 5-hole, go shoot 5-hole on this guy if you have the chance. So you're absolutely right that there is something there. Another thing is, people need to remember this, because when this season started, who was the guy that was playing better and getting the Blue Jackets wins? It was Danil Tarasov. It wasn't Elvis Merzlikins. And at that point in time, you saw a lot of people saying that Danil Tarasov needed to be the guy, and like Elvis is terrible, and what's he doing, and all this other stuff. And what do you know? It went the other way. And then Elvis Merzlikins started going on a heater, and he started playing better, and he started getting the Blue Jackets some wins on a consistent basis. And then the Blue Jackets started playing Elvis Merzlikins a lot. And then when they did get Danil Tarasov in there, it just was, wasn't as good. Some of that is Danil Tarasov's fault because he did let in a goal here, and they're like, "Ooh, that's not a good goal. He should have stopped that." But some of it is because it's not, because the Blue Jackets would leave him out to dry, and then he'd get scored on. And it's like, well, then he had that stretch there where he didn't play for like almost a month. So like, of course, it's not going to be as good. And then you give him actual chance to play some games down in Cleveland for the Monsters. And now he comes back and, he looked good for the Monsters. And now he comes back and he's played 2 games with the Blue Jackets and he looks good. He is a big reason why they won that game against the Flyers, made some big saves to keep him in it. And when it comes to shootout time where you need to win this, there is no getting around that. If it's shootout, you need to win this. And Danil Tarasov stepped up big time. And like you said, Hefty Duck, you saw people on social media, they're like, Danil Tarasov, he's not very good. And why is he still on the Blue Jackets? It should just be Elvis Merzlikins and Jet Greaves. I saw that.
Yeah.
But the reason why you don't, because Danil Tarasov has shown that he can be a good goalie. He's shown it with the Blue Jackets. Where he really stood out was this past season. He had a strong second half of the season. That's a big reason why the Blue Jackets had a better second half of the season this past season. It's a big reason why those games were more fun to watch, because you knew when Danil Tarasov was playing that the Blue Jackets had a good chance at winning that game because of Danil Tarasov's play. And another thing to consider, Danil Tarasov is 6'5", 200 plus pounds. That sort of size, that's hard to find. You look at some of the better goaltenders in today's world, and they're big dudes. They're big. That's where goaltending has been going more recently. You want dudes that are big, that are athletic, and they can make a save or two here and there. And that's Danil Tarasov. He's big, he's athletic, and he can make some saves when you need him to. And he showed that again, not just in the second half of last season, but the game against the Flyers, he showed it. The game against the Rangers, he showed it. And when he was getting those wins to start out the season, when he was playing better compared to Elvis Merzlikins, he showed it. A talent like that, you just don't give up on. You just don't. You put him on waivers and someone else is going to take him, because they're going to look at that and go, okay, dude, that's 6'5", 200 plus pounds, takes up most of the net, and has shown that he can be a good goalie. Yeah, I'm jumping on that. And another thing that I just love it. I've seen it. Watching the Blue Jackets play when Danil Tarasov is in net, the dude takes up most of the net, and then like the other team thinks they got a good chance to score and they don't, and then Danil Tarasov stops it, and then the dude who shoots it, you could see on his face, he's just like frustrated, because it's like, where am I going to shoot it? Where am I going to shoot it? How can I score? Where am I going to shoot the puck? Because the dude, Danil Tarasov, is 6'5", 200 plus pounds and takes up most of the net. And I just get a kick out of that. And I laugh at it. That's like, yeah, you're getting frustrated because you're trying to score on a dude that's 6'5", 200 plus pounds. And you really, you can, but it's just hard because, he takes up most of the net. So like, do not give up on Danil Tarasov just yet. There's a reason for it. He's got the talent. He's shown it, and he's shown it again. Like they're not going to give up on that. And Jet Greaves, as good as you've been for the Blue Jackets, and you helped the Blue Jackets win that game against the Blues, you need to be playing right now. And you're not getting that with the Blue Jackets right now. Yeah. It's best for you to be getting that playing time with the monsters, or you can be that number one goalie down there, cook down there. And then when the time comes when you're ready, the Blue Jackets will pull you back up, because this will happen, in this offseason. In my opinion, at least, either Elvis Merzlikins or Daniil Tarasov goes. That's
Yeah,
gonna
I think
be
so
it.
too.
And that's gonna
because
be
they
it.
guaranteed Jet a one-way contract next year.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing. So either Elvis Merzlikins goes or Daniil Tarasov goes. And at that point in time, that's gonna be the time when they're gonna bring up Jet Greaves. And when he's ready, he'll be ready, because he's had all this playing time down in the minors, down in Cleveland, rather than just him sitting his ass on the bench basically doing nothing.
Well,
Like,
one
that's
thing,
not good. You can't
one,
have that. He needs to be in Cleveland playing games right now.
one thing to note real quick, Daniil Tarasov just did a conditioning stint in Cleveland that was not done by punishment by any means of imagination. It was a true
Yeah.
conditioning stint. As Don Waddell was asked about it, and he said something that he's like, "No, I just needed him to play a little bit and get up to speed before he's back from injury or
Yeah.
whatever." So,
Yeah.
just if anyone noticed that out there, that was not punishment.
No.
But,
That was not punishment.
we
But
got
anyways, the Blue Jackets, they got new jerseys for their outdoor game at Ohio State, and it's really cool. And I'm going to show a picture of it because it is just outstanding. I love it, and I'm definitely going to be getting one and then wearing it to the game that I will be going to. And if you have the chance to do it, get your butt down there and go see the Blue Jackets play at their outdoor game at Ohio State. It's going to be pretty dang cool. Once in a lifetime opportunity that the Blue Jackets will most likely never get ever again. So if you have the chance to do it, get your butt down there and go see the Blue Jackets play at their outdoor game at Ohio State. But anyways, this past Thursday, not only was it Ohio State night at the Blue Jackets game, and not only did you have 2 of the 4 goal scorers were the Blue Jackets Michigan players at Ohio State night, it was also the day that the world learned what the Blue Jackets will be wearing for their outdoor game at Ohio State. And this is what the jersey looks like.
For our audio listeners, if you've never seen it before, it's a dark blue Union Blue jersey with a Cannon logo on the front. This is different from the second jersey. It's a red, gray, and white and blue Cannon on the front. So they're going with the original red, white, and blue colors with the Cannon logo. It's got some silver around it, and my favorite part of this is, at least for the alternate captains, is the little red outline of Ohio around the A on the sweater.
Yep.
But
that is a common thing that people like to point out, that they like that so the captain's patch has a C with the letter C with the state of Ohio around it, and then the A's, the alternate captains have the letter A with the state of Ohio around it. That is just awesome. It's a real nice touch. I like that. And for years, that's something I've wanted the Blue Jackets to do, something like that. And I've seen jersey concepts for years by many people that have designed jersey concepts for the Blue Jackets, and they have that exact thing in some way, shape, or form. I've seen it multiple times where they have a state of Ohio outline on the jersey in some way, shape, or form. So that's cool that they did that. A really big cannon, that's cool. It really stands out. I like that. Obviously the different colors, red and the silver with a touch of blue compared to the normal stereotypical, cannon that we've seen in the Cannon shoulder patch and the Cannon third jersey. There is a
correct me if I'm wrong,
difference there.
but that matches the Cannon that's in Nationwide, right?
It's pretty, minus the red, it's pretty close to it.
Yeah, but it looks like it was traced off of that or something, because And why wouldn't you want them to match at least a little bit or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the numbers. Actually, you know what? Where is it? I'll put this. Okay. As you can see right there, the numbers are white outlined in red. There's the Stadium Series patch right there. And this little stripe, the silver stripe right there, this is a cool Easter egg, and I love it. It's based off of a chevron that what the Union Army might wear.
For
And
your rank. Yeah.
for your rank. So like that right there is just awesome. And I just love it that they're finding different ways besides like the cannon to use the Blue Jackets Civil War theme.
Yeah.
That is something that I've always wanted. I've always wanted the Blue Jackets to really use their Civil War theme more and be, more aggressive with it to get people to understand what the Blue Jackets are.
Yeah.
This has happened to me and other people's where, well, you wear Blue Jacket stuff and go, is that Captain America? Is that the New England Patriots? And it's like, no, it's different things. Like Captain America, New England Patriots are totally different logos from the Blue Jackets logo. It has nothing to do with it. So like that's why I've always had the thought, like, man, it'd be cool if the Blue Jackets really went aggressive with their Civil War theme and really started pushing it to get people to understand that. Now, to be fair to the Blue Jackets, they've been much better about that in more recent years. Why? Because of Kepi shoulder patch, Cannon shoulder patch, Cannon crew, the cannon itself, when the Blue Jackets take the ice, score a goal, win, Cannon third jersey. Obviously, when they don't do it this season, but when they passed out the Kepi for the player of the game, like the Blue Jackets really have done a good job of getting the Civil War theme out there. Also, the Blue Jackets main logo, of course, I got my flag right here behind me with the Blue Jackets main logo. This main logo right here actually has some connections to the Civil War as well, because this logo right here, my flag, is based off of an Ohio Cavalry unit flag that was used in the Civil War by the Union Army. So you put all that stuff together, and the Blue Jackets have really done a good job of using their Civil War theme. And this jersey really does that very well because it has the cannon, it has the chevrons, kind of like a rank of what you'd wear in the Union Army. And then let's see if I can find another picture here.
Well, yeah. See if
and
you can
then
find one with the patch on it with the
Yeah,
crossed hockey sticks, because that
Yeah.
reminds me of like so the Kepis oftentimes have like an insignia marking like infantry or something, where they had like two golden rifles crossed. Like on
That's
the
what it
I
is.
point to my forehead because it's on the Kepi hats on the forehead. Anyway.
No, but that is what it is, Hefty Duck. It is based off of that shoulder patch is based off of like what you would see on a Kepi. So like that's another example of the Blue Jackets really using their Civil War theme perfectly. So I'm finding a picture of it right now, but it is just perfect. I really like it. It is just perfect. They really did a good job of using their Civil War theme. Let's see here if I can. Okay. I think it's right here.
Yeah, I personally like the Civil War theme a lot too.
Yeah,
it's
it's just awesome. They really did a good job. They just really did a good job with
so unique too. No other no other team has anything like a cannon at all. I mean, because most of them are sirens and horns, which is fine because the Blue Jackets do have a horn as well. But there's just nothing like it. It's so unique. I don't know. It just always
It's
makes me chuckle.
it
Didn't you
is.
say that the one announcer for the Sharks jumped or something the other night?
Oh
You
yeah,
were watching
yeah,
on ESPN, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. Oh, okay. I found it. So here is the shoulder patch that is featured on the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey. Right here. So, as you can, oop, okay, well, whatever. It's dumbass ad. Close.
Top right corner,
Top right corner.
the X.
Oh, we're doing you bum. We're doing this. All right. You know what? All right.
It's a little X in the circle up there in the top right.
I see it. Okay. Yeah. Close you
I
dummy.
think, right?
I'm hidden it.
Oh
It's
my
not really
god.
doing. But I know. All right. You know what?
Here, I'll find it real quick.
No, I got it. It's right here. I'll just put this up like this. All right.
Okay.
So there it is right there. I found a bigger picture of it, but it wasn't going. So, whatever. But anyways, so as you can see, it's the shoulder patches CBJ with hockey sticks that are crossed like cross rifles. And it's the star. And that is based off of what you would see on a kepi. So there again, you have the Blue Jackets using the Civil War theme again, and it's just an awesome. It really is an awesome job of the Blue Jackets using their Civil War theme. It just really is. And for point of reference, what we're talking about here, so you can see it. Here is a kepi, so you can see where they got the inspiration from. Cover! Yeah, get up! Get up!
I heard the little click clack of some dog paws.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want some pets, man. Cooper.
Now
There's
he sees
William.
there's some toys there that he likes to try and chew on, and we can't. It's my nieces like to play with it, so it's like, no, you can't do that. So there you go, a new exclusive. You got me seen yelling at my brother's dog, but hey. Anyways, so as you can see, there is a little inspiration of what you can see from the kepis right there. As you can see, like the little belt buckle thing, like the cross rifle sort of thing, that's right there. You can see it. That's where the Blue Jackets got their inspiration for their shoulder patch. Right there is the kepi, right there, with the little belt buckle, like the cross rifle sort of thing, like right there. That's where the Blue Jackets got their inspiration. Right there is from the kepi that the Union soldiers wear. So you put the inspiration from the kepi, you put inspiration from the cannon and the chevrons, and that's awesome. And just take from the whole Civil War theme, and I just absolutely love it that the Blue Jackets are using their Civil War theme for their outdoor game. So overall, this is a really, really cool jersey that I like very much. I really do. This is it's just awesome. So this is really cool. So
that's cool.
Shout out to you, Blue Jackets, for this really cool jersey for your outdoor game at Ohio State. You for now and only now, you can get this outdoor game jersey you can go to the Blue Jackets store and order it there. You can also go to the Blue Jackets store website, thebluelineonline.com. Again, that's thebluelineonline.com, and you can get it there as well. Pre-order it, and it's going to come to you in the mail in February. So check that out. I'm going to get mine, and it's going to be pretty dang cool because the Blue Jackets are having an outdoor game at Ohio State. The Blue Jackets are having an outdoor game at Ohio State. This is outstanding. This is awesome. I'm excited. I'm hyped. Everyone get excited. The Blue Jackets are playing an outdoor game at Ohio State. Go see them.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we've talked about the Blue Jackets getting their jersey at the outdoor game. And one last thing I'll say about this is that the common consensus that I've seen from not just Blue Jackets fans, from all over the hockey world, is that when you compare what the Blue Jackets have to what the Detroit Red Wings have, the consensus is that most people like the Blue Jackets jersey better. And it's no disrespect to Detroit, because what I thought they did was pretty cool. Kind of
It's
like
not bad.
It's
just
not
as
bad.
good.
Right. It's a white jersey and it says Detroit in red letters, and it's kind of like an old school kind of look. And
yeah, it's got like the stitching at the neck and stuff instead of the NHL patch, or like right below the NHL patch.
Yeah, and then like their logo is the shoulder patch and everything.
Oh, their helmets have the wings on them. That's cool.
Yeah, so there's that. But the thing is with Detroit is that they really don't change their jersey much. So like when you are tasked with trying to change a jersey, it's a very difficult thing to do because they don't have a lot to play with. They really, their colors are red and white. They really don't change their jersey outside of like, a slightly different logo and a different shade of red, and maybe they change the striping pattern or something. But it's hard to create a new jersey for Detroit because they really don't screw with it. Whereas if like the Blue Jackets, oh God, you have all the world to you. You have all the options that you can do with it. You can use the normal logo, the regular logo. You can use the cannon. You can use the Cappy. And then it's like, okay, do you use the blue, red, white sort of thing with a touch of silver? Or do you use the dark blue, light blue, like cream silver sort of thing from the third jersey? You have options here from the Blue Jackets that you just don't with Detroit. So overall, from what I've seen, the common theme is that most people, not just Blue Jackets fans, people from all over the hockey world like the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey better than Detroit. So just throwing that one out there, that most people like the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey. So nicely done, Blue Jackets.
Very cool.
Anyways, I got three clips to show you. Two of them are goals. The other one is Fanatics playing a fun, silly little joke with Dylan Larkin, who plays for the Red Wings, and the Blue Jackets players, Kent Johnson and Adam Fantilli. All three of those guys have something in common, is that they played their respective college hockey at Michigan. And what did Fanatics do? They sent an Ohio State jersey to them in a box, and underneath that Ohio State jersey was their respective jerseys that they're actually going to wear. So, but they're just having some fun with the Michigan guys. They're like, you're playing at Ohio State. Here is here's an Ohio State jersey just for fun. And they played it off cool, but they just kind of like, oh, what's this? And like they just kind of like threw it off to the side, This video does have music though, so gonna have to mute it because YouTube is a little copyright sensitive with that sort of stuff. So like you can't do that. So if you want to see the video with actual music, then it's all over Twitter and Facebook and stuff. You can go check it out there. So, anyways, here is the video from the Blue Jackets. No, from Fanatics. It's right here. So we'll back this up so you can see it. And again, no sound because there's music and YouTube is very sensitive about that. So here it is. As the video says, pranking Michigan alumni with OSU jerseys. So here it is.
That's pretty funny. Dylan Larkin just like opens it up and is like, nah. At least, oh, Fensley chucked that one. I think Kent Johnson's taking it the best.
Yeah.
So far.
Well, we'll play this multiple times and I'll pause it so you can see it. But okay, so there it is. There's Kent Johnson. Ooh, he's got a box with a Blue Jackets logo on it. Ooh, it looks cool. Wonder what it is. There's Dylan Larkin, there's Adam Fantilli, he's signing one of his jerseys, And there's Dylan Larkin. He opens up, and there's the Ohio State jersey. Also, Dylan Larkin, why no shoes or socks? I just want to know that, but that's besides the point.
Gotta let them dogs out.
And look, there's Kent Johnson opening up the box with the Blue Jackets logo on it. And let's see if we can back this up here. There it is. There's the Ohio State jersey. And it's like, come on now. What's this? He's taking a good stride. He's smiling. What's this? And then there it is. Pause. Ken Johnson says, I mean, there's no way, right? And as you can see, we'll back this up. Look, there's Adam Fantilli. There's the Ohio State jersey, and he's going to throw it away. Watch.
There's definitely a demographic of people out there that we're pissing off pretty good right now.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I don't care. I mean,
I don't care. Screw off. I don't care.
Tomorrow night, we're gonna be rooting for the Buckeyes.
Damn right. Yeah, best of luck to you in the national championship game against Notre Dame. Hopefully Ohio State gets the Ryan Day where he smokes every team and not the Ryan Day where he poops his pants against Michigan. Please that Ryan Day. I want that Ryan Day. I want the Ryan Day that smokes every team and not the Ryan Day that poops his pants against Michigan. So, I'm just throwing that one out there. But, listen, there are some people within the Blue Jackets fan base that I've seen it that they are not able to separate Michigan, Ohio State from the Blue Jackets, and they let their very strong anti-Michigan bias get in their way. And it's weird. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. I get it. You don't like Michigan. You like Ohio State. I like Ohio State. I don't like Michigan. But that stuff does not matter in regards to the Blue Jackets. It just doesn't. It does not matter. You played at Michigan. Who the hell cares? You play for the Blue Jackets now. We're here to cheer you on, and it is what it is. And if you're upset, if you're so upset about that, then you need to get on Ohio State's butt and tell them to be better at hockey and put more effort into hockey and stop just being basically a football school. And, Ohio State women's hockey, they've been better. They won 2 national championships. And Ohio State men's hockey, they won the Big Ten regular season championship in 2019, and they've made a run to the Frozen Four. Okay, fine. But putting that off to the side, Ohio State, minus that, Ohio State hockey has basically been awful for years now, besides that little run there. So
men's hockey.
Yeah.
Nadine does a great job there.
Nadine,
women's hockey.
She does, but even before that, it was just Ohio State hockey in general was just awful. So if you're just so upset up that, get on Ohio State's butt and tell them to stop just being a football school, put more time and effort into the football, into the hockey team, so that they can produce top talent and send them to the NHL. Because that's what's happened with schools like Wisconsin and Michigan and Minnesota and other Big Ten schools that they have good football teams, but they also put the effort into hockey. Michigan being one of those teams. And obviously, the Blue Jackets have benefited from being one of those teams that have benefited, like Kent Johnson, like Zach Werenski, like Jack Johnson, like Adam Fantilli. It just happens. It is what it is. So if you're one of those guys that, you're being cringe and you like Ohio State and you're letting your anti-Michigan bias get in your way, you need to stop, because that stuff does not matter when it comes to the Blue Jackets. When it's Ohio State and Michigan, then yeah, go all out on your anti-Michigan hate. Go for it. I'm right there with you. But when it comes to the Blue Jackets, that stuff just needs to stop, because it does not belong there. It has nothing to do with the Blue Jackets. You play for Michigan. Who the heck cares? You play for the Blue Jackets there. Now, we're here to cheer you on. All right. On to the next part of this video. So we'll back this up. So Kent Johnson says, I don't think we're wearing this. So I don't think we're wearing this, from Kent Johnson.
That was a polite response. He seems like a very nice person with a lot of things. Or at least polite.
And then Kent Johnson, I think I'd scratch myself maybe. So then Kent Johnson says, I think I'd scratch myself maybe.
Meaning he wouldn't play that night, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, when you say you scratch myself, that's basically you're not going to play, maybe. So Kent Johnson, in a joking way, says, I think I'd scratch myself, maybe. And then he said, we'll back this up. Kent Johnson says, oh, wow. Adam Fantilli, ooh, this is cool. Adam Fantilli, wow. And Kent Johnson said, clean.
Well,
Kent Johnson said, nice little silver down there.
How many more clips you got after this?
At the bottom, almost done.
Okay.
At the bottom, nice little silver there at the bottom, Kent Johnson. Adam Fantilli says, these are great. Yeah, Kent Johnson says, yeah, that's sick. And there we go. Now, on to the gold clips. First things first. Well, actually, no, I take that back. We're going to show of course, the Blue Jackets played the Sharks this past Thursday, and they beat them 4-1. And one of the Sharks announcers got freaked out by the cannon, which, in my opinion, look, this dude has been coming to Columbus for years now, doing games when the Sharks play the Blue Jackets. So he shouldn't know that the cannon is a thing. And that's my one criticism. All of these people for years, they complain about the cannon and they freak out about the cannon. And it's like, dude, like you've been coming to here for like 10 years now, or in some cases like 20 plus years now. You know that the cannon is a thing now. Stop complaining. You know it's a thing. Stop complaining. All right, ran it over. Anyways, here's the video.
It's funny for audio listeners out there. I don't know exactly what he's about to say there, but it looks like he's about to say, "Oh shit."
He said jeepers.
Dude, so I tell you what, like when you're like I've been in the media booth and stuff and when your mind is somewhere else, like sometimes you just forget. And see the other guy with him, he was ready. He was prepared.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Love to see it.
Shit. He says jeeper. He says jeepers, forgot about that cannon. But it's like, dude, you've probably been coming to games for years now. You should know that this is a thing. Stop forgetting about it. Stop complaining about it. It is a thing. The cannon is part of the Blue Jackets' identity. It will happen. When they take the ice, the cannon will go off. When the Blue Jackets score a goal, the cannon will go off. when the Blue Jackets win a game, the cannon will go off. So for all these opposing media type people, knock it off. Stop complaining. Stop freaking out. The cannon is a thing. You know it's a thing. Stop complaining about it.
Yeah. Well, they only do come into town usually like twice a year. Is all. Anyway, what else you got?
One last time. Anyways, on to the goals. Let's see. Okay, this goal was scored from the Flyers game. The Blue Jackets are down 2-1 against the Flyers. Zach Werenski scores a goal to tie it. Of course, Werenski had 2 goals in this game too. So here it is. The Blue Jackets are down 2-1. Zach Werenski scores, and I'm going to pause it and show what I like about it.
So it is a little bit hard to see here on the small screen. Blam. So this was the 4th goal of the game. This is the goal that tied the Blue Jackets and Flyers up in order to go into overtime. There's 4 minutes, 37 seconds left on the clock after this goal. Marchenko comes in, fakes a shot, crosses it right across the offensive zone from dot to almost the other dot where Werenski's at, and he just pats it home in the top right corner over glove side on who is their goalie?
Fedotov.
Fedotov, that's right.
So it all starts where Marchenko puts a shot on net, misses, and the Flyers are able to get it out. But then Fantilli is able to quickly get the puck back and then give it to Marchenko. Marchenko is going to make it look like he's going to shoot. At the last moment, he's going to pass it over to Zach Werenski. He's going to shoot and score. And I'm going to pause it so you can see it. So there's Marchenko makes the shot. Here we go. Now, Adam Fantilli is going to pop up in this area, and he's going to get the puck back to Marchenko. You see it? He's right there, and he's going to get the puck.
Like as Marchenko, like it's just crossing back over the blue line. Or I'm sorry, who is that beside Marchenko? Can't see a number.
I think that Fantilli again. So Fantilli. Okay. So then
he just barely got back on sides.
And then because Fantilli did the hard work in the puck over here, he gets it back to Marchenko. And then I'll back this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. As you can see, he has to respect the shot because Marchenko's a real good shooter. So I get that. So he makes it look like he's going to shoot it. And then at the last moment, just kind of passes it over to Werenski, who's wide open for the goal. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Wide open net for Werenski to score on that. And it's a perfect shot for him because he's a left-handed shot on the right side of the net, basically wide open net. That's just an easy goal for him. Boom, in the net.
And you know what? I was talking about the first line earlier with Voronkov, Marchenko, and Monahan, but Fantilli has slid into that spot in place of Monahan really well as well. And I mean, it's just he's doing so great this year. Fantilli is. It's good to see him have a good sophomore year because his first year he got injured and could not play a lot of the season. So it's good to see him having kind of a little bit of a comeback here.
I'm going to play this one more time, and then I'll show the next one here.
Yeah,
so there's Fantilli gets the puck, back up to Marchenko. Marchenko shoots, pass Werenski, boom, score. And when I earlier on in the show, when I was talking about how there's not, because Philadelphia plays really good defense under John Tortorella, they don't give you a lot to shoot at. That when they do give you something to shoot at, you better put it away. That right there is an example of what I'm talking about right here. Is that was one of the few times in that game where you had a chance to score and you better put it away. And in that instance, the Blue Jackets put it away, because if you don't put it away there, you're more likely than not, you're not getting that again. So that when I say, when you play a team like the Flyers that play really good defense, you don't get a lot to shoot at. And when they do give you something to shoot at, you better score. So that's what I mean by that. And the Blue Jackets did that. So nicely done by the Blue Jackets. Anyways, on to the next goal here, which is, let's see here. Where is it? Okay, right here. So, all right, before I get to that, do some talking, Hefty Duck, because I got to plug in my computer. Otherwise, it's going to die.
All right. We do have to wrap it up soon. But there is one thing I was going to talk about when you were done with this, and I'll go ahead and talk about it right now. And that is, we talked about playoffs earlier a little bit, and there's the words playoff push were not in the vocabulary for this year. January 5th, 2025, according to MoneyPuck.com, the Blue Jackets had a 5.7% chance of getting into the first round of the playoffs, with a pretty much non-existent chance to even making it to the second round, right? Because it gets smaller and smaller the closer you get. Obviously there were like a 3 million, a minus 3 million to, or plus 3 million to get to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Anyway, 5.7% chance of making it through the first round. Now, January 12th, that went up to a 10.3% chance, right? With this, there's no real number here for the percentage to make it to the second round, because once again, it's a very, very small number, pretty much non-existent. But as of today, January 19th, according to MoneyPuck, now to give some clarity, MoneyPuck says this is a brand new win prediction model, and how they changed that was they improved the explainability. There's less emphasis on recent games, more emphasis on goaltending. Shooting talent is adjusted expected goals. So there is a slight change in the model, but as it sits right now, the Blue Jackets went from a 10.8% to a 26.8% chance of making it into the first round of the playoffs, with an 8.2% of making it into the second round. So, not saying it's 100% going to happen. It's just the fact that they're even like over 20% of a chance to get there is incredible for this team this year. Just amazing what they're doing. So, there's other places are starting to notice, I think.
Yeah. So, all right, here's the clip. So we have so the Blue Jackets are playing the Sharks. The score is 0-0, and it's in the first period, and 8 minutes 1 second to go. And what I like about Adam Fantilli scores a goal here, and what I like about this goal is that Adam Fantilli really put in the effort to get this goal, because Zach Werenski's going to get the puck. And as soon as Werenski gets the puck, you'll see it in the replay, and I'll pause it too, is that Adam Fantilli really he gets going. Like a dart, it's boom. He's fast, he's off to the races, and that really pays off for him getting the goal there. He really hustled and worked his butt off there to get the goal. So we're gonna show the goal, and then I'm gonna pause it so you can see it.
Man, sometimes they just make it look so easy. So easy. So we'll describe this a little bit for the audio listeners here. What a great stop at the very end in the shot, and I thought this during like the live game too. So Werenski, Fantilli getting a breakaway down the ice. Werenski's on the left side, passes to Fantilli, who's in the center of the ice, kind of maybe off to the right a little bit, and it's a hard pass. Fantilli stops it with the back of his stick, just like barely stops it. Like he just holds his stick, stop, boom, and then the settle for this is so amazing because I don't know if you ever heard the term like a player will like receive the puck and like dust it off, so to speak. So like you take that one touch to place it, and then you like take your hit. But how fast he was at this, losing no speed, and the puck being as fast as it was, it's just super impressive to me.
Yeah.
How he's able to do that, especially with it wasn't like they had a wide open net. There were two defenders on them, both. Now, the one guy was on the wrong side of Fantilli completely. Like he definitely screwed that up. But an excellent goal.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna. Okay. Well, I'm gonna back this up because I want to show it. So here it is. Shot up high, blocked by Fantilli. Puck goes to Werenski. Now, look at Fantilli right there. He's really hustling his butt off to get there because as soon as he sees that puck, he's off to the races and he's gone. And you'll see, look at that. He's just motoring there, just really fast, working his butt off. And then, as you can see, it's kind of a hard thing for him because, one, it's kind of an awkward angle for him to get that puck. And then you got a guy like right on him. So that makes it hard. And then he just kind of had to quickly shoot it, and that kind of made it hard. So just a good goal overall. Also, Zach Werenski, because he is a left-handed shot on the left side, that's kind of awkward for him, kind of a harder pass to do, but he found a way to get it done. And Fantilli goal. And you'll see, I'll pause on the replay too, so you can kind of see a better angle of it too. But it's just a real good goal all around. Like when I saw that goal live and watching the game, like, yep, that I knew that at that moment that had to be a goal that I had to show on the show. So, like, as you can see, that's kind of an awkward angle for Fantilli to get it kind of on the backhand. It's kind of hard, and he's got a dude right on him. And then, we'll back this up just a little bit. Let's see here. So you got, it's kind of an awkward angle, him shooting it. He kind of doesn't have a lot to shoot at, but boom, puts it in. There it is, a nice little putt. There is Fantilli. And, let me if I can back this up just a little bit. Kind of a guy right on him, kind of an awkward angle for him. But this is where being a left-handed shot in this situation was better, because if he was a right-handed shot here, that would have been harder. But boom, put it in the net. So, like, look at that. Guy right on him. It's kind of an awkward angle for him to get the puck, but pulls it to his back, his forehand, and shoots it. So we're just going to play it one more time, and then we'll be done with the clips for it today. So, boom. Nicely done and again, I said this in the show before, but I'll say it again. It was Ohio State night at this Blue Jackets game. And Zach Werenski, who played at Michigan, assisted on a goal scored by Adam Fantilli, who also went to Michigan. Kent Johnson also scored a goal that day. So, and he went to Michigan. So, I get, that's just the world trying to tell you something with a fun, silly joke that the Blue Jackets Michigan players will score when it's Ohio State night at the Blue Jackets game. But overall, good game by the Blue Jackets here. An awesome goal by Adam Fantilli. So, nicely done, Adam Fantilli.
Yeah.
But anyways. So I'll just say my stuff and, you can say your stuff and then we can get out of here. So, like we always do, you should totally like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your family, tell your friends. That would be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, like I always do, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Good guy, fun person to talk to, fun person to hang out with. Love talking hockey with you. You were a big Blackhawks fan, but you like the Blue Jackets because of me. You became a big Blue Jackets fan because of me, and I appreciate that and love talking hockey with you. Wish you were still here, man. You miss you. I wish you were still here so get more fun times with you and wish I could still talk some hockey with you. So shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc, man. Appreciate you, man. That you're awesome and thank you for everything. So thank you.
Rest in peace, Doc.
Anyways, you should totally check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed group that I run. We do a lot of cool stuff like marches and so much more. Check out Union Blue Soldiers on, all social media platforms. So, Union Blue Soldiers, check it out. Check out Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. All right. I'm done talking. I'm out.
Right. Well, this is concluding. I don't even know what episode we're on, but actually I can find out real quick. This concludes episode number 15 in our third season. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's been quite a long ride over here, and we appreciate everyone for being along with us. If you would like and subscribe, I mean, that's the easiest way to support us. We don't really do this for money, so we always appreciate the support we get. It's all organic. We don't currently have any sponsors. We have had some sponsors in the past, but we don't currently have anything going on. So just a real big shout out to all you guys. Once again, if you like to listen to us on audio, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you're at. But I feel like I'm gonna remember something. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm gonna remember it as soon as we're done with the episode. But otherwise, we'll see you here, same time, same place next week. I think that there's going to be a game on a Sunday in February.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll let you all know when it doesn't work for us. And I think that day I'll actually have to go on a Tuesday myself. But anyway, just thinking ahead, too far ahead right now. So thank you all for being here. I will see you soon. And